If you're a horror movie enthusiast, you'd know how huge of an impact Michael Myers has had on the genre. In around 42 long years of his career as a killer, the man has murdered around 121 people, but it looks like that chapter is finally coming to a close. Before that happens, let's take a trip down memory lane to highlight 10 of his best kills from the Halloween franchise before Halloween ends. First up, the electrocution on Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers at number 10. This one literally made us all jump in our seats. You'd be hard-pressed to find a Halloween fan who liked John Strode, and many of them actually enjoyed the fact that Michael murdered him so spitefully. Many people were saddened by John's untimely death at the hands of Michael when he went down the basement to restore electricity during a blackout, since they knew John was an abusive spouse to Deborah Strode. John gets brutally stabbed in the stomach by Michael down in the basement. But then, the killer decided on the spot that it wasn't enough and hoisted John over the electrical panel's fuse box, where he quickly electrocuted him until his brains burst. One of Michael's most shocking and unforgettable murders. This one was quite gory to say the least, no matter how well deserved it was. Up next at number 9, the thumb jab in Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. In the film's opening scene, Michael Myers is seen in a coma while being transported to a different hospital in an ambulance. The paramedics who were helping him made the fatal error of revealing that he still had a surviving family while en route, and they didn't even live to repent. Even though he has supposedly been inactive for the last decade, it takes Michael 2 seconds to leap into action, jabbing the paramedic close to him in the forehead with his thumb. Myers kills the remaining medical staff off-screen, and then goes on his second killing spree with his face covered by bandages. Like it or not, that's definitely one way to get the audience interested in what's about to come next. Moving on to number 8, the torturous head stomp in the Halloween reboot. In 2018, audiences were rewarded for their patience by getting another taste of Myers on the big screen. We see the film's slasher villain finally return to Haddonfield, where he once again slaughtered many people, satisfying the film's legion of fans. The killing of Dr. Sartain in Halloween is one of many murders in the film that have gone on to define the franchise. Dr. Sartain was never likable or believable in the film, and as the story progressed, we realized how fascinated he was with both the 1978 case and Michael Myers. But that was still no reason for him to die such a gruesome death. Sartain put Michael in a police vehicle and drove him to meet Laurie Strode after killing Officer Hawkins. When the car stops and Myers wakes up, rushes to Sartain and stomps on his head, killing him in one go. Next up, at number 7, the lantern kill in Halloween. Yep, here we are with another kill from the 2018 Halloween. The murder scenes in this movie definitely top the chart for creativity and gore. Many people have a negative opinion of the Halloween sequels, yet none can dispute that they include several iconic murders that are still spoken about decades after their initial release. As the first Michael Myers-inspired picture in over a decade, the makers of the 4th edition of the franchise went all out with the death sequences, which brings us to Brady's murder. Brady stood out as a remarkable and admirable figure in the classic slasher series. Brady sought to quickly reload his shotgun so that he could put an end to Michael's horror while protecting his fiancée Rachel and Michael's niece Jamie. However, before he could do that, Michael hoisted him in the air and smashed his thumb into his cheek until Brady's neck shattered, one of Michael's most memorable murders. This one stands out for its violence and lack of remorse, but you might want to cover your kids' eyes if you're watching this one with the family. Following up at number 6, the operating room kills on Halloween 6. There haven't been many instances in the Halloween series when Michael Myers goes on a whole killing rampage all at once, but in Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, we get all of that and more. Michael returns to the Smiths Grove Sanitarium, the site of one of the most horrible killings in the franchise, in search for Jamie Lloyd's daughter. There are more than a dozen physicians and nurses waiting outside an operating room when Dr. Wynn comes out and leads everyone inside. We then witness Myers entering the operating room with his chosen weapon, just as the surgeons are ready to begin the procedure. After that, we see a bloodied nurse being flung against the room's glass. The strobing lights create an amazing cinematic picture as Michael Myers slaughters a dozen individuals in a matter of seconds. seconds. Cinematically stunning, but disgusting. Not to forget, at number 5, the stabbing on Halloween. Allison's friend and supporter, Oscar, makes an unsuccessful attempt after she breaks up with her boyfriend. Then, after being abandoned in a backyard, Oscar rambles to a neighbor about his past love, completely oblivious to the fact that he is, in fact, being stalked by Michael Myers. Jeez. In one of the film's most suspenseful sequences, Myers doesn't waste any time slashing the teenager and impaling him on a fence. Although Oscar had little effect on the film's overall trajectory, beyond becoming Michael's next murder, his exceptionally gruesome demise may have caused some viewers to reconsider their support for the character. At least we definitely reconsidered our opinions. Up next, number 4, The Drowning in Halloween 2. Halloween 2, directed by John Carpenter and released in 1981, is widely regarded as one of the finest sequels in the franchise. The events of Halloween Night from the previous film are continued here, and the film features a famous kill from the Halloween series. The nurse, Karen, took a break from her duty and met the paramedic, Bud, in the hot tub to unwind and chat. Karen demanded that Bud lower the thermostat when things became too toasty, leading to Michael Myers' fatal strangulation. Karen insists on talking, certain that Michael is actually Bud. When she realizes it isn't, she screams, and Michael shoves her head into the hot tub, where she drowns while the skin on her face peels off. The most famous of Michael Myers' many murders, and truly one of the most horrible deaths. Moving on to number 3, the needle death in Halloween 2. If you have a fear of needles, you should probably skip this one, because it might give you a bad taste in your mouth. It all starts when Nurse Janet panics after Laurie has a poor response to her medicine and rushes off to get Dr. Mixter. She walks into his office, and to her surprise, the doctor has been brutally murdered in his chair. Janet, right before she screams, retreats into the office's shadows, where Michael is waiting. He puts his hand over her lips and jabs a syringe into her temple, injecting her skull with pressurized air. You have to give it to him for coming up with all these creative ways to murder people. Even if Janet's death isn't all that graphic, it's still one of the most unsettling moments in the entire series, and the build-up to his reveal is a tour de force of tension. Maybe those who are faint of heart shouldn't watch it. Let's talk about the barn death from Halloween 6 at number 2. Jamie is a fan favorite in the slasher franchise. However, she becomes a primary target for Michael Myers, who, surprise surprise, is also her uncle. So, after her mother Laurie passes away, Jamie replaces her as the protagonist and meets a grisly end at the hands of Michael Myers in the 6th film of the series. The poor girl tries to make the last break from Michael, but he follows her into a barn. When Jamie confronts Michael in the barn, he picks her up and sets her on a corn thrasher, which he then uses to murder her. As one of Michael's most horrific killings, this one just couldn't be avoided. Finally, at number 1, the firefighter massacre from Halloween Kills. Now this one truly had us sobbing because it really did come out of nowhere. The title of 2021's Halloween Kills is well chosen, since Michael brutally slaughters an entire crew of firefighters who had responded to the blaze that Laurie Strode started in her own home at the end of the previous film. Michael took refuge from the flames in Laurie's rifle cabinet, but he charged forward as soon as he saw the firefighter fall through the floor and into the cellar. Michael then uses a pickaxe to murder 3 firemen and a circular saw to almost slice a guy in 2. Talk about being thirsty for blood. That's a wrap for this video. So which one, in your opinion, was the worst kill that Meyer handled? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.